into the lineup real quick. One to go. Starting on the pole will be the 44 of Rick Kluth.
To his outside, it's car number 88, Stafford Springs, Connecticut's Woody Pitcat.
Starting on the inside of the following row, it's the 34N of Rusty Smith.
Then it's the 34S for Josh Nichols.
The 22 of Lloyd Agor will roll off fifth.
Then it's the 75 for Carl Pastriak.
In the 7th spot, it's the 3 of Darren Shear.
That's the 98S for Rick Kukin.
Kenny Horton and Barry Calavini round out the field. We get the green flag coming off the corner, and we're underway.
And it's Woody Pitcat gets a great jump, but it's not going to last as the caution lights are coming back on around the racetrack. From now. Top 4 to transfer, 25 laps the distance in this second and final consolation event for the Mighty Modifieds. Off turn 3, here's the green.
They charge down the front straightaway into turn number 1. The 44 and the 88 side by side. Pitcat's got the advantage, carrying that momentum around the outside. Kluth files into that 2nd spot. There goes Josh Nichols. Nichols runs in the 3rd position, spends his days working at Roush Racing.
And has that Team Onion car tucked into the 3rd spot right now in car number 34. Carl Pastriak, Captain Carl, up into that 4th spot. And among the transferees right now, one car off the pace further back. Got shuffled out of line, but quickly back up to speed. Everybody right now chasing Woody Pitcat.
Good battle for that 5th spot between the 98 of Rich Kukin and the 34 of Rusty Smith. Smith's got to check up for a second. Kukin will get the spot, but he's not transferred.
Only the top 4, and he has some distance to make up for Kukin in that 5th position. Car number 98S in the top 5, but right now it's not good enough.
Not good enough. You've got to be able to run down that 75 of Carl Pastriak. For the last 2 years, Carl Pastriak has sat in victory lane here, Kyle, but it has been a winner of the non-qualifiers event. He's got a chance to make it into the big race. Oh, Kukin in the wall.
Yeah, he got into the wall, got a little squirrely over there in turn number 1, drifted up the racetrack, and it cost him 1 spot. And now he goes from 5th to 6th as the 3 of Shear was able to make the pass, and now Shear has the challenge of trying to chase down the front 4. Still early, 20 laps to go in this non-qualifiers race. Speaking of chasing down, they have chased down Woody Pitcat at the point. Rick Kluth is closing in, as is Nichols in 3rd.
Tough break for Rich Kukin. He, like Danny Bone, whitewalled the right side tires. He's going to backslide 1 spot. Your top 4 is bumper to bumper as they come off of turn number 4. A lot closer than the previous consi. Woody Pitcat has got some big competition behind him. Rick Kluth, Josh Nichols, Carl Pastriak are all transferred, but don't know if they're really going to start pushing the issue for the positions.
No need right now. Carl May in the 75, Darren Shear beginning to close in. In car number 3, it's going to be a 5-car battle for the 4 transfer spots here in about a lap and a half or so as Shear is closing. Pitcat continues to lead, and maybe not for long, as beginning to get some pressure now from the 44 of Rick Kluth. And here's Carl Pastriak looking at the inside of Nichols' 34 car.
Carl Pastriak did take a look, but that's all it was. It was just a look. All of the drivers are running single file. Darren Shear, like we said before, he was going to try to run down those leaders. He has run down the leaders, but he's not in a transfer spot right now. Carl Pastriak is on the bubble. Darren Shear wants to break that bubble, but looked like at the front of the field, looks like Rick Kluth is pressuring Pitcat for the lead.
He's stepping out of line, but not able to challenge Woody Pitcat for the top spot. Nichols continues to ride in 3rd. Carl Pastriak is 4th, but Shear is there to factor right now in 5th. In car number 3.
And there's still a lot of laps to go. Darren Shear does have enough time to run down Carl Pastriak. Bumper to bumper, they come across the stripe. Woody Pitcat continues to lead the way. Rick Kluth trying to run him down. If you look at Kluth's car when he comes down the front straightaway, it looks like he may have also gotten into the wall too. You saw a little bit of that concrete powder on the right front tire.
Coming off of turn number 3, back down to the stripe. Pastriak darts out of line, looks to the inside of Nichols for 3rd. Tucks back into 4th. 4 to transfer, 5 in the lead group, led by Woody Pitcat in car number 88, but only by a car length, though, with the 44 of Rick Kluth, and then that 3-car battle for 3rd, led by Nichols, Pastriak, and Shear.
Definitely has been an exciting race so far. Eddie Flemke ran off with the win in the previous consi. Woody Pitcat not so fortunate, but he does have a pretty good pad between himself and 2nd place. A fine job for Rick Kluth in that 2-quick chassis. Josh Nichols doing good as well. He's an ASA Southern Modified competitor. spends a lot of days at Roush Racing working as a engineer and fabricator. So he does a lot of the development for the chassis at Roush Fenway Racing. Runs his own modified part-time, and he's having a lot of fun here today.
Runs among the top 5 right now, and in a transfer spot, one driver not in as Lloyd Agor is off the pace on the back straightaway. He'll pull the 22 car to the infield, teammate to Todd Szegedy this weekend. Nichols steps out of line, looks to the inside of Kluth for second, can't capitalize on it. Carl Pastriak hangs on to fourth. Here comes Scheer, beginning to add some pressure as laps continue to dwindle down.
Scheer trying to break the bubble of Carl Pastriak. Pastriak is transferred. Scheer wants the spot. He wiggles off the bottom. That's going to cost a lot of momentum, and Carl Pastriak starts to pull away. He's also going to get into the back bumper of Nichols ahead of him.
May have pushed the issue a little bit too much. A lap to go for Scheer as he was up and underneath Pastriak, but slid up the racetrack. Slight contact was made. Quickly is able to reel those two cars back in. And Carl knows he now needs to go. Getting the 34 a little loose over in turn number 1. Nichols hangs on to the spot. Pastriak in 4th. Scheer hangs on in 5th.
Pastriak looks like he's trying to rattle Josh Nichols' cage as they come off the corner. That's allowed second place Rick Kluth to slip away, so those two drivers are comfortably in. The fight now is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Look at Darren Scheer. He's going to make another dive underneath Carl Pastriak, but he gets the door slammed in his face.
And you know Carl Pastriak wants so very much to finally make the big dance here this weekend after 2 years of having to run the non-qualifiers race. Hangs on to 4th, but not by much. Here's Scheer to the inside in turn 3.
Sticks his nose to the inside. He had his tire up to the Nerf bar. Once again, Scheer gets loose on the bottom, just like he did a few laps ago. Loses momentum, loses some ground to Carl Pastriak.
And now I'm not sure if there's enough time for Scheer to regain some of that ground on Pastriak. Just 2 laps to go this time for Woody Pitcat. Car number 88, Kluth in 2nd, hangs on to that spot. Nichols in 3rd, and Pastriak in 4th. It'll be the white flag in the ivory silk, this time by off of turn number 3 for Stafford Springs, Connecticut's Woody Pitcat. Leads into turn 1 for the final time over Rick Kluth in 2nd. Nichols in 3rd, and then that race for 4th heats up again with a half lap to go.
Darren Scheer putting the pressure to Carl Pastriak. They go into the corner. Scheer uses the chrome horn on Pastriak, but he can't make it past. Checkered flag flies. Woody Pitcat picks up the win. 2nd spot will be Rick Kluth. 3rd spot will go to the number 34 of Josh Nichols, and just making it in the show, he doesn't have to run the non-qualifiers race, is the 75 of Carl Pastriak.
For the first time in 3 years, Carl Pastriak is in the big show and will not have to run the non-qualifiers race this year. We'll start toward the back of the pack, though, in the 125 lap main event later this afternoon for the modifieds. And with that, the modified field is set for the big show here later this afternoon.